And welcome to the Ultraman panel, our hero Ultraman. I'm Bob Johnson, and I'm here with Keith Aiken and Gaz Gretsky. And for the next 50 minutes, we're going to talk about Ultraman. Yeah, this was originally going to be a sort of tokusatsu episode, but we figured once we start talking about Ultraman, it's probably going to take an hour just in and of itself. So here we are.
Absolutely.
So go around and introduce ourselves first, I guess would be the best thing. So I guess I can kick it off. And my name is Bob Johnson, and I'm with Sci-Fi Japan. I also do the Planet 8 podcast with Larry Kakos and Karen Walker. You can find that anywhere finer podcasts. And I dabble in a few other things, but those are the main things right now, especially with the pandemic. I can't really do stuff outside. So anyway, to my, was it left or right there, is my Sci-Fi Japan partner, Keith Aiken. So Keith can introduce himself.
We can't hear you, Keith.
Maybe with sign language.
Why don't I go while he tries to figure out what he's doing? Okay, so while Keith figures it out, I am Gaz Gretsky, otherwise known as Gazbot Online. I'm an artist. This is all my art behind me. I do a lot of Kaiju stuff, Ultraman, Godzilla, Power Ranger, things like that. I also co-host a show called Action Activate with the Big Dog Defender, which is mostly about Power Rangers, but a little bit tokusatsu as well. And you can find me anywhere at conventions in California or, you know, a G-Fest, a Power Morphicon, specific ones like that I try to go to. And I'm going to be sketching a little Power Ranger, Ultraman head while we're doing this. And maybe we'll check in on that from time to time. So Keith, can we hear you?
Well, Keith is still working on this mic.
All right, Keith's still working on it. So Bob, why don't you talk about that lovely shirt you have on?
I have one little camera angle here. Let's see, where is it? There's some Ultraman toys there.
A few
bit of my collection, and I also have two pieces of Gaz Gretsky art behind me.
Look at that!
Look at that! And there's a nice close up of my Ultraman Leo shirt.
That's excellent. Do you have a favorite Ultraman toy in this gigantic cavern garage of Ultraman stuff you have?
Oh man, well, there's a couple right now. One favorite is, if I can go back, this Ultraman bust.
Yeah, that is
Chuck Jarman.
That's fantastic.
Bump in the Night Productions. Really cool bust. Eyes light up. The warning light actually lights up as well. But, it makes an obnoxious noise when it starts blinking. So
yeah,
I wouldn't put it on.
That's fair enough. You know, it's funny. I have I don't have it handy, but they announced on Ultraman Day, among other things, that they're going to be coming out with a new beta capsule prop replica with light and sound and everything. And a couple of years ago, I got one from Premium Japan, Bandai Japan, sorry. And it was expensive. It was in the neighborhood of $200 retail. Now it goes for more than that if you look on eBay for whatever, $400, whatever. But and I love it, except that once you turn it on, until you turn it off, it makes noise, and then it gets to that end, and it's like weep, 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 weep. So if I play with it and put it on my shelf and forget to turn it off, it's so obnoxious 3 minutes later.
That would basically be the thing. I had to reach back behind me too, because I have my other item here. We did an Ultraman show for my group Bay Area film events back in 2005.
A lovely show.
Theater in San Francisco. And as part of that, we gave away an Ultraman guitar.
That's so badass. That is so good.
This is basically based on Ultraman the Next, which was the movie premiere. And
I've seen
only like 10 of them made. And luckily, when the thing was over, I was able to go in and grab me one.
I forgot to ask, can you play guitar at all?
Absolutely not. but like Elvis, I can hold it really cool.
There you go. Sometimes holding is half the battle. So, you know.
As long as you can hold a guitar. It's funny, you see a lot of singers, they just stand there and hold the guitar.
Yeah.
Or they'll strum a couple times or something. So as long as you can hold a guitar and look cool.
Right. That's all you need. That's all you need.
As long as you're in a band, if you're solo, you're screwed.
Let me ask this, keeping it on Ultraman a little bit. How did you get into Ultraman? What was your first exposure? What made you start liking Ultraman?
Funny you should ask me that. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I told people for years that I watched Ultraman on TV 20, Channel 20, back in '68.
Right.
Everybody's like, no, Ultraman was syndicated in the '70s. I'm like, no, I was watching it in the '60s. And this argument, I've had this argument with people for decades now.
Right.
So the other day I was having the exact same argument with Bill Ferguson over in Japan. Now, he was the one that released that first Ultraman VHS with the first 4 episodes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, no, I talked to Peter Fernandez, who dubbed it. He said that he got the series in 1970, dubbed it, and it came out in 72. And in fact, Internet Movie Database has the series marked as 1972. So we went back and forth, and finally he got on newspaper.com.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, neither did I. And he dug deep, and the San Francisco Chronicle TV listing for June 5th, 1968 had Ultraman on Channel 20 at 5:30.
Look at you, winning arguments
Indicated.
years later. You are validated. You are redeemed, sir. Well
Do
job.
not listen to Internet Movie Database or anyone else. Ultraman started here in 1968.
Wow, that's only 2 years after it premiered in Japan. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I saw a contract once between United Artists and Tsuburaya, which basically was when they bought the series, and it said that it had a total of I think 26 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was signed while they were still making the series.
That's impressive.
And it turned out to be 39, all said and done. So, it's weird. It's a big, long, weird history of Ultraman here in the States. But Keith is back. Can we hear him?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome back, Keith.
Right. Yay.
Now with added sound.
So we're all done. Thanks for coming.
It's great that the microphone worked while we were doing the test. As soon as the show goes live, dies.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Keith, it's your turn to introduce yourself.
Okay, well, as Bob was saying, I'm the co-editor of Sci-Fi Japan, and for the past year, I've been working with Mill Creek on their Ultraman Blu-rays, so we'll talk about those a bit later.
Oh, yes.
And just recently, I was hired as a freelance writer for Ultraman Galaxy, and my first piece should be coming out this week, which is an interview with Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom, who are the writers of Marvel's The Rise of Ultraman comic book. So check that out later this week.
About that during this hour.
Yeah. So that's kind of what's going on here, and luckily now you can hear me.
Yeah. Well, I had just also asked Bob how he got into Ultraman, what his first exposure was to it, how he found his love for Ultraman. Do you want to answer the same question, maybe?
Yeah, I could do that. It's kind of like as far back as I can remember. I remember Ultraman, so I couldn't tell you the first time. I grew up on the East Coast in Delaware. And Delaware does not have. Thank you.
I've lived in Delaware.
Oh, okay. So I was in Wilmington.
Let's hear it for Delaware.
Hey, who knew it gets such a shout out in this show? But they don't have, at the time they didn't have local stations. They got everything from Philadelphia
and Baltimore,
Philadelphia,
too, right?
Yeah, and those were big markets in the 70s. Those were big markets that showed Japanese programming, and Ultraman was on 5 days a week after school, from as far back as I can remember until my family moved to the West Coast, which was in the late 70s. So he was always there, and I would see those 39 episodes over and over again, for years.
You missed my little story while you were off, but I've always said that Ultraman, I watched it in 68. Mm-hmm. And long story short, I was having an argument with Bill Ferguson during the week. He traced it back to San Francisco Chronicle, June 5th, 1968, Ultraman on Channel 20 at 5:30. And he said the only other paper that he found that had Ultraman in 1968 in the country was Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, so
I think
I actually did some research on those lines myself because I was wondering when the show actually showed up. And but I mean, Philadelphia was great because it was like Godzilla movies all the time, all that kind of stuff. That's how I became such a fan. It was on constantly.
Well, the funny thing too, you talk about watching those 39 episodes over and over. Dory Krause was on before us from Ultraman Towards the Future, Mr. Jack Shindo. And Channel 44 here in the Bay Area, the thing about Ultraman Towards the Future was it was not sold to TV stations. It was given to them. And it had its own commercials embedded, and it had space for local channels to put their commercials in. So that's how they both made revenue. So basically it was a free TV show. So Channel 44 had it on at like 4 a.m, 2 episodes back to back, Monday through Friday. And they showed it for like a year. Think about that. There's only 13 episodes. So basically, you know, within a week and a day, you've gone through the whole series, and they just kept recycling it for like a whole year.
Well, it's great if you missed an episode. You knew it was going to be on in like 3 days.
Yeah.
We'll just watch it again next week.
There could be worse seasons though to have on. I mean, I was just revisiting it yesterday actually with all the Ultraman hype. I had seen the first couple episodes a while back and never finished it, and then the last few days I watched 3 or 4 episodes again, and I think it holds up. Like some of the effects, the digital effects look a little dated, but like the suits and the cinematography and the acting, like it's all pretty good. Like even for how old it is, like you know, I very watchable still.
It was actually much better than this one. Ultraman Powered behind me, or Ultraman the Ultimate Hero.
Right.
That one was never really saw the light of day over here at all, even though it was shot here in Burbank.
Oh, I thought it was on Fox Kids for like a minute. No,
Ultraman Tiga was.
Oh, maybe
Ultraman
that's
Tiga was part of the Fox box.
Gotcha.
And, but it was dubbed kind of goofy and daffy and whatever. But
and Donald.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Actually,
about halfway through the show.
92, 93. When did Power Rangers start? That was 92 or
90. I want to say 92.
92. Okay, so 92. August Fragoni and I went down to Burbank, and we were on the set for Ultraman Powered.
Right.
And you know, the day before we left to the set was the day the Power Rangers premiered, and we watched that over at Bill Winkler's house, and we were like, "What the heck is this?" Because we had been watching Sentai for years.
Right.
But anyways. We interviewed King Wilder, who was the director for a lot of the episodes of Ultraman Powered. And he had, I hope he's not listening, but he had no clue. You know, he was like, you know, I don't know why Ultraman yells because his mouth doesn't move. So they eliminated the yell. I don't know why he punches the monster because it doesn't have any effect, which is why in most of the battles he's just pushing the monster away and then shooting a ray at it, and that's it. But it basically made for some really boring Ultraman television.
Yeah, it seems like he probably wouldn't like professional wrestling much, because I always thought Ultraman matches are similar to professional wrestling matches, where you know how it's going to end, but the journey to get there is the fun, the drama, and the back and forth. You know, like.
Well, it's not usually a punch that puts the other guy down.
Right. Yeah, it's a special.
There's a lot of punching in there though, still, because it's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And the build-up, you can't walk in and win immediately. Then who cares?
Yeah, you got to weaken the opponent.
There you go.
I'll throw this out to both of you. We'll go around the table. So, what's your favorite Ultraman series?
I will take that. I'm going to give you 2 answers, which would probably be true of any Ultraman question you ask me. My favorite is the original, the 66, Hayata. But my second favorite, kind of tied with it, is Ginga. And I don't think Ginga is a great season. But I have sentimental attachment because it was the first modern thing I'd seen. Like I'd seen some of the older stuff, and I'd seen the next movie, which I didn't really love the next movie, to be honest. And I'd kind of just been poking around random episodes of movies, and then Ginga was coming out, and I was like, well, let me jump on the new thing. And the season itself I found a little bit disappointing, but actually I got this right here. But I love the suit. This is one of my favorite Ultraman toys. It's got, I love Tron, and it reminds me of Tron, and it lights up, and it was similar enough that I knew it was Ultraman, but different enough. So like the fact that I was able to jump on board when it was new, and I love the suit, even though I acknowledge that season actually isn't that great, it's like tied for number 1 with me with the original. Yeah,
it's hard for me to narrow one down. I definitely agree with the original Ultraman. There's just something so basic and simple with the show that makes it a classic. But Ginga was like a lot of the newer Ultraman.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'll see a picture online or in a magazine or something and go, I don't really know about that. But then once you see him on screen, he's moving around, he's all lit up and whatever. It's like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I see what they're doing.
And also, I will say Ginga S was a much better season.
I was going to say, I thought they did better with Ginga S. But Keith, what about you?
Oh, it's the original, I think, pretty much all the way for me. Again, growing up with it and watching it over and over. And also the fact that I love Godzilla movies, and you had so much kind of a crossover because you would have the suits, some of the Toho suits, you would have props from the Toho, sound effects, even actors,
the best thing about the original Ultraman is like they were mini Godzilla movies.
Yeah. That was basically, if you're a Godzilla nut, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, get a little mini movie 5 days a week. It was great.
Well, yeah, I mean, the monster
and so-
came out. He started attacking the cities, or marching along the countryside or whatever. And Science Patrol fights it, and then finally Ultraman comes out. But until Ultraman comes out, yeah, it's like a whole monster movie.
Basically, just this different ending where the monster loses.
Yeah.
Jet Jaguars every episode.
Oh, actually,
I just love those sound effects and everything too. That you would recognize familiar things, props like sound effects and music. I just loved it all.
Absolutely.
Because in the original dub, when it was originally on, for the first 13 episodes, Ultraman did not have his yell.
Oh.
And that was attributed to the yell was on the dub track, was on the voice track. So when United Artists or Titra got rid of the dub track, that got rid of the yells as well. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, starting on like 14 or so, the episode with Gubala, suddenly the yell came back. So I don't know if they steadily started putting that on the sound effects track or what it was, but yeah, so Ultraman was actually silent for the first 13 or so episodes.
That's interesting.
Somebody finally caught on. I just figured it's time to get that yell in there.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Let's put it in there. I know, like with some of the newer releases, they put the yell back into the original, 13 along with the English language track. So I did get The Birth of Ultraman yesterday. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but the episodes they have on there, I know they have like the Balton episode, right? Episode 2. Does he have the yell in there? Do they put the yell back in, or is it the original track where he doesn't?
It's the tracks. I mean, it's the stuff that Tsuburaya had, on file now. Right. So I'm trying to remember if it does. I think the yells are in there, but I can't swear to it. I'd have to.
It's also one of those
check. You actually stumped me.
It's also one of those questions of reality of which is the true version. Then you know what I mean? Because depending on where you grew up and how you watch, like you could argue that having not the yells is the true version, but if it doesn't feel right to you, then you still don't like it. But
it's like the opening theme, the silhouettes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you look at the newer DVDs and things, they have titles over or credits over the silhouettes. Oh. The original release by United Artists just had silhouettes with no credits on them. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of hoping that Mill Creek goes that.
Well, I was just going to say, we're talking about all these new releases and things. I feel like Keith maybe has some Mill Creek stuff he wants to talk about.
Yeah, well, I can say real quick on the burst set, they're using the Japanese transfers for the visual, and then just adding the dual audio tracks. You get the Japanese version or the American dub. So the opening credits will be whatever was done for the Japanese original.
Oh, it'll probably be Japanese credits sent over.
Yeah, so it'd be the Japanese credits. So what's going on now? Obviously, as we're talking about, like with Birth of Ultraman, is that came out obviously Friday in celebration of Ultraman Day.
Right.
As I was watching the Ultraman Day live stream, there was a lot of people who were kind of confused about the release schedule now for the Mill Creek stuff.
What kind of changed? And they put some stuff back and.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people asking about Taro, so I can kind of give people a rundown of where things stand now. Because of the pandemic, obviously a lot of stores are closed. Best Buy is like one of the major sellers for the Mill Creek DVDs or Blu-rays, and they have been shut down for the most part for several months. A lot of stores are having trouble with orders and that kind of stuff, and obviously a lot of people are out of work. So Mill Creek's kind of adjusted the schedule a bit because they want to make sure that the stuff gets out there and also people can afford to buy it. So they're, not doing like they've done in the past where they've put out multiple titles in a month. They're kind of sticking to one title a month for the foreseeable future. So the schedule we got right now is Birth of Ultraman came out on Friday. That's a deep discount DVD, deepdiscount.com exclusive. So if you guys want to get that, that's the way to go. Let me pull up the list here. We got Neo Ultra Q on August 11th. And that is the 2013 series, all 12 episodes.
Which is really good if people haven't seen it.
Yeah, and it's a direct sequel to Ultra Q. So, I mean, it's kind of a fun, if people bought Ultra Q and enjoyed it, which I hope they did, here's the immediate follow-up.
They don't have the Ultra Q movie, do they?
No, that is, I think, because it's not Tsuburaya. It doesn't own the international rights because of the way it was made. It's Tsuburaya Eizo and... who was the other distributor for that? Was it Shochiku? I'm trying to remember.
Kiyoshi Soji directed that, and it was the camera angles and lighting, everything are just wild. He did some of the more wild episodes of the original Ultraman, like Jamalar
There's a ton of comments that I don't know if you guys have noticed. I just noticed we haven't looked at any of them, but
Okay.
Easterman specifically was asking about some of the Mill Creek stuff that you're talking about. He was asking about Ultra Q Dark Fantasy. Is that? I'm not sure what that is.
Okay, yeah, that's a 2006 series, and currently Mill Creek does not have that
Okay.
because the rights aren't available. Because again, it was a co-production, and the international rights were held by the other side, not Tsuburaya, so they
Gotcha.
couldn't offer it at this time. So it's something where they're looking into.
Mhm.
So like right now, Mill Creek is licensed something like 25 Ultraman shows and like more than a dozen movies, plus a lot of side stuff like the straight-to-video specials.
Mhm.
So they've got like 2 or 3 years worth of content to put out. And I think as that's moving along, they're going to look into filling in some of the stuff that wasn't available at the time they made the original deal.
Did they
So
get
hopefully
the,
Dark
the
Fantasy,
Subway PSA commercials?
the Subway PSA commercials? No.
Ultraman
I'd love to see
how
some of the
how to
commercials get
board
put out.
Subway trains, you know.
Well, you get those 3-minute ramen commercials would be great too. There are so many fun Ultraman
That would be
commercials.
great.
Actually, the comic
Well,
book
say-
writers in the stream yesterday were mentioning that. They were like big fans
Oh yeah,
of Ultraman with a suit eating ramen noodles and things.
those are fun commercials. Gaz, the one
Yep.
I know you'll be interested in is the Ultraman Ginga set is coming
Oh,
out.
nice.
So, I'm sure you heard about the very, but it's
Yeah.
September, 15th, and it's Ginga and Ginga S, both complete series.
Nice.
Plus
Okay.
the Ginga S movie, which will have the Japanese language version and Bill Winkler's dub.
I
So you
haven't
get the
seen
English
I haven't
language
seen the
version as
dub
well.
version, so I'm actually more excited for that
Yeah.
because I've only seen the Japanese one so far.
Yeah, because he dubbed both Ginga, the Ginga movie, and Ultraman X movie.
Mhm.
As
And
well
then
as-
there's also the fight short that they did, the tied in with Ginga S. That's on there too, again with Bill's dub. So you'll get the shows in
Nice.
Japanese, you'll get the movie and the special with English dubs.
Nice.
Trying to
Yeah, it's
trying to
nice.
think
that
what
they're
else we got
putting-
here.
It's nice that they're putting the movies on the discs because, and they're releasing them separately as well, right? But I mean, if you don't want to
Yeah.
double dip, you can just buy the series with the movies and all is good.
Yeah.
Well, Mill Creek's really trying to give people their money's worth. So they're doing when they get a show like the current series where it runs and at the end there's a movie, you get it all together in one package. If a dub is available, they're doing their best to get it. That sometimes involves rights issues and things like that, but they're doing their best, which is why we're getting the Bill Winkler dubs now on all these movies. And then also they do things like these Walmart exclusives. Actually, Kyle, if you could pull it up, picture 5.
While he's pulling that up, it's impossible for me to keep up on the chat, but just a lot of people asking about what's going to be released, what's not going to be released, what are they considering, what are they not considering. Just every Ultraman iteration you could think of, everyone wants to know, is it coming out or not? I don't know how you want to respond to that, but that's basically what chat is saying right now.
I guess the easiest answer would be, what are they not going to release?
That was a literal question.
Because they have
What?
both.
Yeah.
Okay, well, real quick, while Kyle's got this picture up, this is the movies, Ultraman X and Ultraman Ginga S, the movies, just the films. They have the Japanese and the English dubs. This is a Walmart exclusive. You can order it from Walmart.com or in the store, basically. And Walmart is carrying the regular Ultraman stuff too, but they like to do these movie-only exclusives. So it's something if you just want the film or you're just interested in the dubbed content, this is the way to go. In terms of what they don't have, it's kind of a little bit of I'm trying to think how the best way to describe it. They have basically all the Showa stuff, all the way up through 80. They do not have Great or Powered again because those are the 90s, the Australian show and the American production.
Just a
again-
sideline there. If you're a completist, go ahead and order the Blu-ray of Great and Powered. There's 2 Blu-ray sets from Japan, and they have the English dubs on them. So
Yeah, so that's a way to go
you can
now.
complete your
It's
collection.
a thing where the Japanese or the international rights aren't available for their shows right now, which is why they were not included in the package that Mill Creek picked up. They said they don't have Dark Fantasy.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think, they pretty much have everything else.
A lot of
They
people
got-
are asking about Zone Fighter, but I think that's a whole different thing,
That's
isn't it?
not- that's not
Yeah,
super-
that's Toho.
Yeah,
That's a whole separate, nothing to do with Tsuburaya.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Something I'd love to see get put out at some point. And we'll see if we can do that at some point. But it's I think Mill Creek is so focused. They bought this gigantic library of stuff. This is kind of their focus in terms of the tokusatsu for the time being. Oh, they do
Fair.
have Gridman too, so I should add that.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
So
How about like Mirror Man or the others? Fireman.
yeah, not any of the other Gridman. I think is the one non-Ultra show, and I think Mill Creek picked it up because they also have the rights to Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad. So they, so now they have both versions of that show. If people are interested.
Be interesting to see which one sells better.
Oh yeah. So
they also have that.
all right, hey, let me quick get back to
the Gridman Quadruple S, the animated.
No, not yet. That's Funimation. Funimation has the.
I'm just saying they have that is out.
Yeah,
it exists.
Yes.
Yes. It's a really good show too. So I mean, Funimation has put that out.
Ultraman panel. So.
And the Netflix anime is not something that's in the current package because Netflix has the exclusives for now. But I think Mill Creek's looking into putting that out when the home video rights become available.
Yeah, I think the second season of that's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, it's in the works right now. So
what about this is from chat. Ryan Clark says, what about Ultra Zone, Kaiju Girls, and Ultra Nyan?
None of those. Sorry.
Okay, there you go. Sorry.
They're in the same category as the Subway commercials.
They do have Ultraman Kids 3000, so that's coming.
What was that?
Ultraman Kids. They do have that series, so that's coming down the line.
2000 or whatever. Ultraman 3 was it?
No, this was they got the rights to the sequel series, which I think is called Ultraman Kids 3000. I think.
Yikes.
So, but that was one that's coming way down the line. They're folks doing stuff like, hey Kyle, if you could put a picture 4.
How about the 6 Ultra Brothers versus the Monster Army?
That is definitely not coming. Real quick, I'll say Ultraman RV got announced on Friday, and that is coming out October 13th.
Oh, nice.
And is the entire series plus the movie. So and those will be Japanese language only because they were never dubbed. So, yeah, obviously the 6 Ultra Brothers, because of the whole international rights dispute. Oh, yeah. It's like Subarai's not offering it, no one's touching that. And so, yeah, fans are gonna have to go the bootleg route for that one.
What about
real quick too, because I know a lot of people are asking about these. Now, which one?
7X. People are asking. Ultra 7X.
That is coming. That's on the list too.
There you go.
So, real quick, let me give the rundown just for the early part.
Ultra 7s from the 90s.
The 90s they do not have. That's those. Yeah, they do not have the 90s Ultra 7. So, they do have Ultraman Taro is coming out in January of next year. It got pushed back obviously because of what we were talking about with all the store closures and all whatnot. They wanted to make sure that gets a decent release.
Yeah, Ultraman Taro.
They're going to follow. It looks like
drugs.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like Kyle just threw up.
February is.
Sorry, it looks like Kyle just threw up.
It's very nice.
Thanks. I realized we probably should have shown it because I started this from scratch, and we're like already halfway through it. But I was gonna do the original Ultraman, but since they had Dory Krause on before us, and I just started rewatching Ultraman to the Future, I figured Great would be. He's almost looks like the original Ultraman, but a little bit more topical for what's going on today. So that's what I'm.
Well, they know what we look like, so maybe Kyle can just leave this up for a while then.
Well, was there more Mill Creek stuff you wanted to share though, Keith?
Yeah, let me just finish off this list real quick.
Yeah, we can check back in.
Basically taking us in there early next year. Okay. Ultraman Zero Revenge of Belial is coming in the spring of next year. And that will include the movie and also the tie-in straight-to-video thing special that they did for that.
Is there a box art on that?
Followed shortly thereafter by Ultraman Saga. What was that?
Was there box art on that or no?
You said box art?
Yeah.
No, these things, I mean, they're up through, I think RB is the most recent design they've done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I haven't even seen Taro yet. So, I mean, it's, see, then they're going to do the Ultraman Saga movie is in the spring of next year. Also, around that same time will be Ultraman Zero, the Chronicle series. Plus, that set will also include the side story Killer the Beatstar. Right around, shortly after that will be the Ultraman Galaxy Mega Monster Battle, which will include both seasons of the show, plus the movie, plus the tie-in side stories, Ultraman Zero versus Darklops Zero. And lastly, for now, I'll go with, actually, that's going to be pretty much it through the spring. So anything that you didn't hear on that list is coming, with just it's getting further back down the line. So I don't want to go too far ahead because obviously schedules change depending on what's going on in the world and everything. So, but that gives people an idea what they're going to be seeing through spring of next year.
Nice. I don't think anybody's holding you.
Have the Ultraman, the old
The
79.
Ultraman's coming, yeah. They're finishing the Classic 7, which will be, finishing up with Leo. So that would be Ultra Q through Ultraman Leo, which will have the matched spines on the box sets and the steel books.
That's cool.
Shortly after that would be after Taro and Leo are done, they're going to do the Ultraman and Ultraman 80. So there's there's a lot coming. So we're going to keep Ultraman fans busy for a while.
So that would have been one of my picks for favorite Ultraman series.
There you go. They must have known.
That's right.
Oh, and I'm going to say too, they're doing the Ultraman Earth movies are coming down the line. Ultraman Cosmos, Ultraman Nexus, and Ultraman the Next. Ultraman Max, Ultraman Mebius, Ultra 7X. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. And so it's basically Ginga, Tiga, Dyna. They're all coming. So
nice.
The way Mill Creek's working is, as you guys probably know, is they're doing the classic shows from the start and the newer shows basically from the most recent and working inwards. So you'll probably see Tiga, Dyna, and Gaia much further down the line, obviously, as they're working towards that stuff. But
so
they'll meet in the middle.
So they just got RB, right?
Yeah, and RB just got announced on Friday.
And they're talking about Taiga and Zet.
Yeah, when they made the deal, RB was just then in production. So the stuff since then will have to be a new license. But they're in talks about doing Taiga and Ultraman Z. And obviously, if they get those shows, they would do the movies as well. So there's, like I said, a lot coming. Mill Creek also, real quick.
This like 2-3 years ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's. You think back, all those years we're waiting for legit releases, and because of what was going on with the international rights dispute, you couldn't get pretty much anything here. Yeah. And so now, I know Super tried from time to time to put out a show, and it just, because it was just one out of so many, it didn't really click. But they're doing really well now. So,
I think I know the answer, but Mazer Patrol was asking about the Hanna-Barbera Ultraman cartoon. Is that at all a possibility, or
it is it's not part of the current package. It's another thing that when the rights become available, Mill Creek's interested in. But it was not, the rights weren't there at the time.
Of that, which has the English dub on it, by the way.
Yeah, the Japanese release does have the US cut. So there's that's the way to go if you're needed in the immediate future. But it's something we're working on. Yeah,
nice.
I want to say real quick too, Mill Creek asked me to mention that they're doing a sale this week in celebration of Ultraman Day on their Movie Spree, which is moviespree.com/Ultraman, where they're doing complete series for $7.10. And that's the digital streaming version. So if you buy the Blu-rays, you get a download code where you can go to Movie Spree and watch them digitally as well as having physical copies. If you are just looking to have digital copies, Movie Spree is the way to go because you can get the stuff cheap, and they have basically everything that's been put out so far is available. So head over there and give it a look and make my bosses happy.
Get Keith more money.
Cool.
Exactly.
So guys, you got like some Ultraman stuff going on too, right?
Yeah. If Kyle's listening,
bring up your drawing while you talk about.
Well, actually, I have visual aids. There's the drawing I'm working on. I'm kind of halfway through the line art. But if Kyle could bring up, actually, I put some visual aids, Gaz 1 through whatever. I did some sketch card art. There's a set of Ultraman cards coming out from RR Parks Cards, a small card company. They've previously done things like Three Stooges, Sharknado, Mystery Science Theater. This is one of the bigger sets they've done. And the first set is just going to be the original Ultraman show. But if it goes well, unofficially, there might be more sets down the road. Don't hold me to that. But this set is absolutely coming out. I've already done my sketch cards for them. I can't show them to you because of NDRs and all that. But I can say I've seen most of the art on these sketch cards is going to go in, and it's amazing. They have everything from comic book style to photorealistic to portraits of the actors to more abstract. Matt Frank has done some artwork on it too. Frankie B. Washington, people that might, these guys, a little bit bigger names than me in the community, but tons of great artists. And then what Kyle will eventually put up for us is the only thing that's been approved other than the sketch cards, because it's a long process, and with the pandemic it's slowing things down, but it's happening. It's not, but the licensor approval has come through for the sketch cards. I'm sorry, not the sketch cards, the signature cards. And the 3 signatures, which I can confirm we're going to have in this set, are Hayata Susumu Kurobi, and forgive me my pronunciations, Fuji, which is Hiroko Sakurai, and then Ultraman suit actor himself, Satoshi Bin Furuya. So those 3 for sure are going to have signature cards. Now, I talked to Richard, who runs RR Parks Cards, and he said they're going to be on metal. I asked him to explain that a little more. I'm not sure what that means. I don't think it means they're going to be metallic. I think they're going to actually be on some kind of heavier metal cardstock.
Yeah, I've seen metal cards before.
Okay, I guess that's what it is. They're going to be on metal, these signature cards. But what I found more interesting, because sometimes sketch cards have a sticker, like Star Wars ones or something, where they get the artist and then they stick them on. These are going to be signed right on the cards. So if you get that card, it was held by that actor. So I don't know, to me, that's a little bit better than a sticker. So again, I have some graphics I could show, but I need Kyle to put them up, but maybe they'll come up later.
Their fingerprints on them.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah, there's maybe some DNA. Make a little clone. So right now, the only thing that's come out officially is there was a promo card with the non-sports update magazine you can get for free, which now is on eBay for a couple bucks if you really want it. Which is just an image of Ultraman saying that this card set is coming. But once it comes out, like I said, there's going to be signature cards, there's going to be sketch cards, and there's going to be other special cards, which I don't know if I'm at liberty to say what they are. But it's not just going to be images from the show. It will be that, like a standard card set, but there's a lot of fun things you could like. I worked on the set, and I'm still gonna buy some. You know what I mean? Like just because I want to see if I can get some of those special cards. I'll tell you what.
We gotta say, hey Kyle, wake up.
Well, he's busy doing. One thing I can show. This is not included in the set, which is why I could show it. But let me see if I can get this to register. It's not really registering.
It's pretty washed out.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was just an Ultra Ace headshot I did, which is in the style of the sketches, but I could show because it's not in the set. But yeah, I'm excited for it, and there's no date on when it's coming out yet because, like I said, there's still some license or approval going on. But if you go to actually, I can't share my screen. Well, if I can share my screen, I can show you. But RR Parks Cards is who's putting it out. They have a Facebook page, they have a website, and they have a Kickstarter thing because they do a lot of their stuff through Kickstarter. And if you follow that, you'll see everything they have in production now. I think right now they're working on Manos Hand of Fate, that old cheesy movie. But the next one up is Ultraman. Yeah, exactly. So that's what's going on with those guys. And I'm very excited I'm excited it's coming out, and I'm super excited that I get to be a part of it. And I'll say this. I don't think there are very many connecting cards. Like sometimes they'll have like puzzle pieces that go together and stuff. There's a few that artists did themselves, but not too many compared to most sets. But there is one card that I did that connects with another artist who people would know. And if somehow you could figure that out and make it work, good for you, because I don't know how you're going to get both of them. But there is a 2-piece sketch card I worked on with another artist who I won't say who it is, just in case I'm not supposed to. but it was very cool to do.
Well, congratulations on getting to do that. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. I was very excited.
It's very cool. So are there any other questions or comments over in the chat that we need to address? One other things?
I wasn't really looking. Just a lot of people asking about specific what's coming out on Mill Creek.
If there's anything really I need to address, let me know.
Yeah.
You said what wasn't, so.
Yeah, I think that was a big one. I'm not seeing any specific questions. They're talking about Ultraman toys coming out. Mego, of course, has a new Ultraman coming out. They're saying it's tip of the iceberg, but what else is going to come?
Well, it's amazing because if you keep your eye on UltramanGalaxy.com, they have a list of all their licensees, even ones that haven't even announced product yet. There's a ton. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Yeah, it's insane.
One thing
making up for lost time.
Too, if you're at your local mall, or you can even go online, there's that clothes store called Uniqlo. They've got Ultraman shirts now. I got a couple back here.
Oh, you already picked some up. Hot Topic also has I think a fleece and a shirt.
Oh, very nice.
Zeton. That's one of my favorite kaiju, Ultra Kaiju, Zeton.
They've got my very favorite shirt. Let me get this one here.
I can't see. It looks black. Oh, is that the Bolton?
Yeah, Bolton.
Yeah. It's you can't really see it, but it's like that sort of teleport, like after image walk he does. That I think is the best one they have for sure. Cool. Yeah,
it's very cool. And then one shirt that I never thought would be out in this country is they have Gonku from Ultraman Gaia. The big eye monster.
There you go.
Brad Warner and I used to talk about Gonku all the time. In fact, on the back it says Ultraman Gaia versus Gonku, but it was just weird that they chose that one arbitrary monster to put out. There's also one. It's funny. I bought those 3, and I had a 4th one in my cart, which was like it had a pocket with Pigman on the pocket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the balloon. And I was like, decided at the last minute, nah, 3's enough right now. But they send me an email almost every day saying, hey, something you liked is back in stock. It's always the Pigman shirt. But Hot Topic has shirts now as well. So you go over to their site. They definitely have one that I saw, but looks like the company that made that shirt also made a few others. I've got it up here. Let's see, where is it?
It looks like the images I sent to Kyle he didn't get, but if Kyle is paying attention, if I could screen share, I'll just throw them up on my screen over the art I'm working on, so I could share it. Oh, there you go. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring it over here. Sorry to cut you off there, Bob. Oops, sorry. Let me bring this up. I wasn't planning on doing this. So this is the promo card. And you can see this is the logo, RR Parks Cards coming soon. So this is out there if you're a completist and you want to get that. Like I said, it's a couple bucks on eBay, but if it's something you want, this is the artwork that's been approved for the backs of some of the cards, which is the chest piece, obviously. And then here is an example of one of the signature cards for Hayata. And you can see this is like a photo. Actually, it's over that image, but it's a photo of the actor. And then here's one for Fuji. Again, a photo. And then this is one of the artist sketch cards, but they used that art on the signature card, which I think are the cooler ones because, photo is cool, but getting the art and the signature, I can't quite read the artist's name on this. Otherwise I would credit them, but it's on the lower right. So there's one for Fuji, and these are done, again, in the orange, like the Science Patrol colors. Here's one for Bin Furuya, again, a photo card. And then this is another sketch one for Shin Hayata. I'm calling it a sketch card, but I'm saying it's sketch art. It's not original art. I want to be clear. There is original art. These are sketch signature cards. This is just using new artwork, I guess is how I should say it. And then this is very small. This is the back of if you get a sketch card. Sorry, it's low res. And this is the kind of thing that I worked on. So then, the artist, in this case with me, my signature would be there. And on the other side, it's pure white just with the Ultraman logo. And so that's pretty much what I had to show. It's not a lot, but I find it pretty exciting.
No, it's very cool. Yeah. Ultraman Cards in America. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I feel like he was one of the first people to get that license. Like I knew, I couldn't say anything about it, but I knew about this before Marvel or before any of these other announcements. It was like, because I saw another artist online mention like, oh, I'm working on some sketch cards for Ultraman. I'm like, what? Where? Tell me who to talk to. And so that I got in contact with Richard. I'm like, listen, you don't know me, but I need to be working on this set. And he's like, all right, man. All right.
That's the crazy thing, because 2020 so far has not been the greatest year. I think. I think we'll agree about that.
Yes. Yeah. This is the one bright spot.
All the Ultraman stuff we're getting. If you have to be like sequestered at home and during this pandemic, hey, you got a lot of Ultraman to watch, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, a bright spot.
Not a lot of Ultraman to buy.
I wonder if
bright spot brought to us
now
via the Land of Light.
Yes.
Come on, I just need to get that out.
No, really. If you go to ultramangalaxy.com, big old list. There's pins coming out. There's shirts. There's towels, mugs, figures, socks. I mean, you're all outfitted for Ultraman. I'll tell you.
Absolutely. I bought one of those mugs off the Galaxy store.
So hey,
there you go.
I think we got like maybe 5 minutes. Keith, you want to touch on the comic a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I interviewed the 2 guys, and from what they said, if anyone saw the Ultraman Day interview, you kind of know what you're to expect. Their approach, I think, without going into detail, because I don't want to spoil anything, is it's the right approach. They're going big. They are kind of using the whole Ultraman multiverse at some point. The comic is based loosely on the 66 show, but like modernized. And they clearly get and respect the material, which I think is the first thing. That's the most important thing. Please read the interview when it pops up on Ultraman Galaxy. Like I said, there's also video from their Ultraman Day interviews. I believe are on YouTube, so you can get a feel for yourself, see what I'm talking about. And I'll say real quick, Go ahead.
I'll say definitely watch the interview and check it out for yourselves. But I'm a Power Rangers guy as well. Like I said, that's my normal show is Power Rangers, and I've read those comics and that Kyle Higgins wrote, and they're amazing. They electrified the fan base. And again, if he does, and he's with a partner this time, I understand. But if he does with Ultraman what he did with Power Rangers, it'll be great because it was perfectly paying homage to what came before, but updating it and bringing in. It was about Mighty Morphin, but they brought in all the different seasons, all the obscure heroes. So if he does that with Ultraman, I have a lot of confidence in this writer to do this job justice.
You know, I guess the first issue has a black and white Ultra Q short story, so that kind of tells you.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah.
You know, if I can, because I know we're running out of time, I just want to say that our friends at Bandai asked us to let fans know that they've recently launched a site called p-bandai.com/US, and it's basically they're going to start selling Bandai merchandise directly in America. So you wouldn't have to pay dealer markups or that kind of stuff or import fees. Right now, Ultraman wise, they mostly have clothing. They've got like the actual uniforms that are being worn by Storage and Ultraman Z. They've got like the team jackets from Tiga, Dyna, Gaia. A few figures. Also, they're doing obviously the Godzilla stuff and Gundam and anime and all that kind of stuff. So if you're a Bandai fan, which I think most of us are, that's a place to like go start checking in the next few months. One of the things they're going to start carrying are also those premium Bandai Japanese exclusives. So you'll be able to get those here now too.
Nice.
Like the Fate Godzilla set that has Mechagodzilla disguised as Godzilla. So it's like a lot of very cool stuff. Also want to say a little self-promotion. For those of you who have been asking questions, if there's something we can follow up on, contact us on our Facebook page for Sci-Fi Japan. I'd be happy to answer any questions if I can. We'll be doing updates, obviously, on our main site, Sci-Fi Japan. And so as new products are announced, or new Blu-rays, Ultraman news in general, we'll be running that there. And Ultraman Galaxy, obviously, is keeping up to date with all the stuff since they're the official Ultraman site here now, too. So,
and one other
look at
since we squeezed Godzilla in here.
Yeah.
Arrow has the Gamera box set, and I kind of said in the introduction, but Keith and I, there he is, right there.
That guy, I saw him earlier.
Yeah.
We did the audio commentary.
The giant head.
Brave, so pick that up. It should be cool.
Yeah, and like guys like Kyle and Matt Frank and everybody who worked on that set. That's going to be an amazing set with all the movies, all the alternate dubs and U.S. edits or cut or versions.
Richard
and a ton of
and Stuart Galbraith and Ed
Steve Rifle and Ed Gazacheski. Books. There's like 2 books included with it. It's an amazing set. That comes out in August from Arrow Video. So, and again, information about that's on sci-fi-japan.com. So please head over there and you'll find out all the details.
What's that site again?
Yeah, exactly. Let's plug it as many times as we can.
And of course,
hopefully we're reaching some new audience here. So.
On there as well as it comes available. And Mego and Marvel and everything else. And
it's like a never-ending smorgasbord.
Yeah, and I shall say we're always doing obviously Ultraman Blu-ray giveaways on the site. We will be doing a giveaway for the Gamera set. So, and that's not a cheap set. So, that's worth entering that contest. We'll be doing that in August. So, already got that set up.
Excellent.
So lots of good stuff.
Am I eligible to win that, or is that just?
Everyone's eligible.
Hey, all right.
It's a random drawing. So
I think we're coming down to mere minutes. Gaz, is there anything else on the chat we should know about?
Let me see. Gamera set looks awesome.
That's
a lot of people being excited. Nice. Great news on the premium Bandai. Thank you. Actually, I was worried I wouldn't have time to finish this, which I'm obviously not. But I did a quick sketch of him here as well, which actually I like the one I did now better. But this is to give you an idea what it would look like if I had time to finish it, maybe.
But yeah, the color, but the drawings in place. Right? Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll probably finish it up. I'll give my little plug then. If you follow me, I'm Gazbot everywhere. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You can find me, and I will put this up as it is and when I finish it later as well. I'm also working on a Ultra 7 versus Ella King thing right now that I did live streams of yesterday for Kaiju Conline, and we're at 150. So I don't know how hard line it is, if we should stop talking immediately or not.
Yeah. Well, as soon as Kyle tells us to shut up.
Okay.
In the meantime, is there any more questions you can answer? Or do you have Gaz something you can throw?
Oh, you guys, you need to shut up.
Oh, we need to shut up. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Nice talking, everybody.
Amazing.
Oh, you know,
Everybody
I
tuned
felt
in,
like I
thank
couldn't
you.
leave that alone. Thanks, guys. And if you're staying tuned, the next panel is going to be by Justin Mullis, who's going to be talking about Western monsters in Japanese productions. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
a lot of fun.
Thank you.